Hi everyone, so in today's video I've got another fun fold card for you. This card has been made using the stamp set Gnome for the holidays and the Snowflake Splendor Designer Series paper, both of which are available in our holiday catalogue. So the Designer Series paper is part of the Snowflake Splendor suite, and that's on page 37 of the catalogue. The stamp set is Gnome for the holidays, and that's on page 23 of the catalogue. And as I say, both of these are in our August-December mini catalogue, or holiday catalogue as it's sometimes known as. This particular colourway is Night of Navy, and then I've coloured her Christmas tree hat in, I think that was mint macaron, and a dress is done in Misty Moonlight. And this is a Misty Moonlight ribbon, I think it is, or it's denim ribbon, I think it's called. But basically it's a belly band, it pulls off, and then it's like a 3-fold card. So it opens up like so. You could put plain, white card in here if you wanted to add more greetings. I've basically just used the same Designer Series paper. This is the reverse side of this. So it folds up like so. Then on the back I've put a white piece of Whisper White, and I've stamped the little gnome house and a little Christmas wish. So that's how the card goes together, and then it just fastens with a belly band. So the belly band is like the decorative element of this card, if you like. So I'm going to use the same Designer Series paper suite but in a different colourway. For this one I've stamped the little gnome guy. I've coloured his hat in Highland Heather. This is a piece of Highland Heather card which I've cut just a little bit bigger than this stitched die, but on this one I use the 3rd and 4th biggest of the dies from the Stitched So Sweetly dies, which are available on 179 of the annual catalogue. So that's my elements. You're going to need, if you want to do it in the same colourway, piece of Highland Heather for your base card, which is 11 3/4 by 5 3/4. You need a piece of Whisper White, which is 5 1/2 by 3 3/4. You're going to need Designer Series paper, which is 5 1/2 by 1 1/2. You need 2 pieces of those. 5 1/2 by 2 3/4, and you'll need 2, and 5 1/2 by 3 3/4, you'll need 1. And then for the belly band, you're going to need a piece of the Highland Heather, which you can use when you chop off this from a piece of A4 card. And this is 9 1/2 by 2, and a piece of the Designer Series paper that's 9 1/2 by 1 3/4. I'm going to score at 1 3/4, 4 3/4, and 7 3/4. I'm going to fold the first score line towards me, the second score line away, and the 4th score line. So you're kind of doing a valley, mountain, valley, and that's the front of your card. Then what you need to do is work out what Designer Series paper you're going to use and how you want it showing on your card. So all our Designer Series paper is double-sided. So I'm thinking I might put that one like so. This one I might put the blue side, and then like that. And then when I open it up, I could either put this side or this side. I'm thinking I might do that. And then when I open this one up again, I can either use the same paper or the other side. So it's entirely up to you really how you want to put it together. But I think for now, I'm going to put the side that's got like the Highland Heather in it on this front piece. I'm just going to use some wet glue, give me a little bit of wiggle room to position it. I'm going to leave that one for a minute. I'm going to put this one in. And again, just position it centrally to the card. So that's how it's looking now. So we've got alternates. Again, I'm going to leave that one out for a minute. And then this one, I think I'm going to do the same as the front. So as I say, you could leave these plain if you were using a white card, or if you were using coloured cardstock, you could put plain, you know, white matting layers. It's entirely up to you really what you want to do. So that's how it's looking now. And then it's a case of what I want to do in here really. Do I want to do I think I might do these two the same and these two the same. So I'm just going to give it a good burnish with my bone folder. And I'm just going to put it on one side, and I'm going to bring in the piece for the back. Now, if you were using a white base card, you wouldn't necessarily need to put this piece on. I'm only putting this on because I'm using the Highland Heather. And what I am going to do is do some stamping. So I've got some Highland Heather ink. I'm going to bring in the Gnome House, and I'm just going to stamp it up in Highland Heather. I'm just going to stamp it off on my scrap paper just to see how it's looking, and then I'm just going to position it just in the bottom right hand corner. Just going to bring in my chamois and clean that stamp, and then I've got a little Christmas wish which I'm going to put down here, and again I'm going to do this in Highland Heather. I'm just going to stamp it on some scrap just to see how it's looking. And again, I'm just going to clean it with my chamois and put my ink away. So that's ready to go on the back of the card now. So that's how we're looking so far. Then the belly band, I'm just going to, I've cut the designer series paper for the belly band at the same length, but just made it 1/4 inch narrower. So this should be easy to line up, and especially as I'm using Tombow, the wet glue, as I say, it just does give you a little bit of wiggle room. My little gnome, I'm going to stick directly onto this piece of Highland Heather that I've cut with just a tiny little border all the way round. And I'm just going to put that on one side, and then the belly band I'm just going to turn over, position the card by eye centrally on the belly band. Then what I'm going to do, I'm just going to put my finger on the edge of the card and just fold this up, because obviously this is double because it's card and paper. And then I'm going to do the same with the other side. Just hold the edge of the card and just fold it up ever so slightly. And once I've got it starting to bend, I'm just going to fold it over with my fingers very, very lightly. And then I'm going to take the card out. And then what I'm going to do now, I'm going to make sure that the edges of the card line up. And then I'm just going to flatten it with my bone folder. And I'm going to do it on both sides because, as I said, I've got card and paper. So you want to make sure that your edges line up, that it doesn't go crooked. And then if you haven't folded it over too tightly, you will be able to slide this on and off. If you've done it too tightly, like I may have done there, I'm just going to ease it back a little bit. And then when you stick it down, obviously you're only going to look where the end of your belly band is, and then you're going to stick glue on this side. So again, I'm just going to use a little bit of wet glue, not using a lot. I don't want it oozing out everywhere. And I'm just going to bring this over and I'm just going to put it on loosely, and then, you know, give that a good pushing out to give me a bit of room for this to slide on and off. So now that should move quite freely so you can get your card in and out. Then this is going to stick over here. So I'm just going to put some 3D foam, or dimensionals as we call them, just on the belly band, and then that way I know that I'm not sticking the topper to the card. And I've only got black ones handy, so I'm just going to use a couple of black ones. And that's going to stick on there like so. And that's the card. So the belly band slides off. The card opens. As I say, you could put some plain layers in here if you want. You've got a space on the back where you can write your greeting, and then this will just slide back in here. And then a couple of little embellishments. So I'm going to use some of the basic rhinestones, and I'm just going to pop a couple into the centres of the snowflake on the card. I'll use a bigger one down here, like so. And then I've got a piece of silver ribbon, which I've tied into a bow. I'm just going to shorten the end on that. And I'm going to use a couple of glue dots, and I'm just going to position that just across the corner. So there it is. That's the alternative version of the Night of Navy. So all the information with regards to the blog post and the video will be on my website at applelover53.co.uk. Please don't forget to subscribe to the YouTube channel at applelover53. If you don't already do so, make sure that you've got the mobile app on your phone or your tablet with the push notifications switched on, and then that way YouTube will send you notifications when I upload a video or when I go live. If you use Instagram, you can also follow me at applelover53, ScanNCut. So please give the video a thumbs up, and I'll see you in the next video. Thank you.